Hey everybody, another great day, because today is the day you're going to learn how to play the good, the bad, and the ugly. The theme song from the great Clint Eastwood movie from, I don't know when it was, 1971, 2, somewhere in there. I've always wanted to know how to play this theme and just spent some time on it, and I wanted to share that with everybody here. So today we're going to talk about what are the sort of rhythm guitar chords that are going on behind the whole thing. And then, of course, we're going to spend time on the great electric guitar lead from that theme song. Hey, if you haven't done so already, please jump down and click subscribe and ring the bell. It'll let you know every time I drop new content, which I do every single week. Also, all my videos have jump links down in the description, and look on the horizontal red bar there. You can jump right to the part of the lesson that you want to see and bypass some of my yapping. And if you're looking for ways to support the channel, I really appreciate that. There's a lot of ways to do that. You can see super thanks right below, which is just like throwing a tip in the tip jar. Also, I have a Patreon page where you have exclusive content, and all the chords and tabs that I do for all these YouTube lessons are there for my Patreon members. And I've even got a store with merchandise linked down in the description below. Check that out. Got some fun stuff. Now this lesson's going to be a little bit different because the real record has orchestra and a whole bunch of other stuff. We're just going to focus on a guitar arrangement and call it good with that. So let's talk about the sort of rhythm chords that you can play behind this song. So the song, as best as I can tell, is in, I guess, D minor.
D minor, which I always find is really the saddest of all keys.
So let's talk about the chords that are happening during that opening theme. The right? So that is a D minor to G. The second one is a D minor to C. Third one is a B flat, and if you want to be fancy pants, you can make that a B flat major 7 to A minor, and then it resolves on D minor to G again, back to D minor, right? So that's going on during the, right? Do, do, do. Ma, ma, ma. And play any version of D minor you want, or any version of G you want, or whatever you want, right? Okay, the next part is where the real spaghetti western part, comes in with the, which we'll learn, right? So that is, first part is D minor to A minor. The next one is B flat to F, and you can do your normal B flat or your B flat major 7, or your normal B flat to F. Then D minor to A minor, C, and get that G note on your E string, and then it goes to A, and you want, ideally you want that note on there. So either or this, however you want to play your A that gets that note on there, right? So again, and then it goes into your galloping part, right? So that is it's a repeating D minor to G. That's where the guitar is going, right? So it does D minor to G 4 times. Double time. Okay, now here's where everything sort of speeds up. But the chord sequence is really cool, and it's actually very easy. It's a descending line that starts from a B flat, and again you can play your B flat major 7 or your normal B flat, It'll sound fine either way, right? But B flat, A minor, G, F. See, we're just going down. We're just working our way down. Down to an E minor, to a D minor, to a C, to a B flat, and finally to an A flat or a G sharp. I never know which, but there you go. Bar chord on the 4th fret. Call it that. And then up one to your A. And then it resolves back to D minor again to go around again, right? So that fast bit again, starting from B flat. That's how that works. Now all together, sort of at tempo. Switch to the second part. So that's the chord sequence. Now let's talk about the super cool electric guitar and why I know you tuned in. Okay, so let's get to it. Okay, so this is my sort of take on the song. I'll call it my quote-unquote arrangement. All the single notes are there that we'll learn that are on the record, but in some places I sort of mix 2 notes together and I'll play a chord here or there for emphasis. So this is my take on it, okay? In terms of tone, you can do whatever you want. You can have a little bit of dirt on there. I'm gonna go super 100% clean for you on this. I've got a little bit of delay going on and some reverb for sure. But you dial in whatever sound you want to taste on that, but and whatever pickup configuration you want. I'm going with my Telecaster and middle pickup setting, and we'll call that good, okay? So let's talk about the opening. So the opening, the way I'm doing it, is trying to mimic the sort of vocal thing that happens, the right, that's going on the real song. And in terms of notes, it's, so if I'm in the key of D, you know, it's just your E and your B string at the 10th fret, but that sounds a little too plain for me. So I'm doing a big old stretch. I'm putting my finger on the 10th fret at B string, and I'm going to hammer on all the way up at 15 to that D note on the B string. So to get that sort of sound. Okay, so that's how I'm doing it. So there's 4 different variations of this. So the first one is, and you'll see over my shoulder what's going on. Second one, you grab that note up there. Third one, so you don't pull off on the last one. And then the last one, I do from your G down to your D. I do a sort of slide. So all together. So that's those 4. So then it goes around again. the instruments sort of come in and they play that same sort of chord patterns that we learned. And this is the chord I love so much, that B flat. That's over this. That's so great. So that's what's going on there. Okay, the next part's where it really gets good. So this is where, you know, we're playing the cool spaghetti western sound and it's going over the rhythm chords that are on the first one. Right, that's going over D minor to A minor. And then we play that same thing again, but it's going over the B flat or the B flat major 7 to F. Same thing. And then you do it again. And then the way I play it is I slide up to there and then and close it off with an A chord. Now you can also play that all in the first position where you do instead of coming up here. Or, right? It's just sort of what you get used to. For me, I just got used to playing it this other way and sliding up, and so I'm doing it like this. Now wiggle them both together. All right, and now we're going to get into our galloping part, which is over the repeating D minor to G. All right, so that part, how I play it, is so it's right off of this sort of D minor-ish shape figure, right? And that works because the second chord is a G, right? Do it again. So that's the repetitive part, right? Which matches what the rhythm's doing. The rhythm is doing double time. And same thing with the lead part. Okay, so here's where the limits of my music theory come into play. I will show you this run, and I'll be able to describe in some degree why it works and where it's fitting in with the chords, but I cannot explain to you the rhythm. You'll have to get that on your own, but I'll play it slow and then at tempo as well, right? So this run, and for context, this is the part that plays over the descending chords that we learned starting from the B flat. Okay, so that's what's happening underneath all of this. And so all the notes that we're going to learn here, they fit over each one of those chords as it's moving. It just is very quick, and at least for me, it wasn't intuitive on how that was happening, and I really had to, well, I had to woodshed it, right? Okay, so D minor to G. All right, now here's the next part. I'm going to play it at speed first. I do that. Okay, so here's what's happening. Let's take that part by part. Okay, so the first chord in this, we remember, is your B flat. And it goes to an A minor. Right? So after we do our D minor to G, Okay, it goes into a pattern like this. All right, at speed. So that's a good little phrase to just start and stop at that point, because things will change from that point forward, where we're going to go into some open strings. But for now, and that works because here's our B flat, and then your A minor, G, F. It's the same notes. I know I'm playing them down here, but if you can hear those chords, like here's your F. So that's phrase number one. The second part, the next chord after your F, you remember when you go down from your F, your next chord is E minor. Okay? It's going to go E minor, D minor, C, B flat. So starting with the E minor, right? The first two chords you're going to pick are the open, these two open strings, 2 and 3, from your E minor. And the next little 3 notes are going to be from your D minor, but you're going to play, you're going to do that. Now that note, you don't normally finger in a D minor chord. You normally leave that open to get the D bass note, but that note is in the chord. It's the F note, right? But that's why that works. And it's still a D minor. Right? So that next part, let's take the first phrase and that first part we just learned. Open. Okay, that's where we are. So that was the D minor. The next chord is a C. So it's those 2 notes from the C chord. Open G, 2nd fret on D, and then you climb up to that note because the next chord is a B flat. Right? So again, taking it from the E minor, C, B flat, and then you're going to end on that C note, but it's not because it's a C chord. It's not. This is like the best part. It's because that is the major third of your A flat. Oh, just sends chills. Right, so whole thing in context slowly. Right, I just played that A flat note because the rhythm chord would play that, but normally you would just sting that C note. And then how I climb next, the next chord is an A, but I like to play that note, that climb up on the 4th fret on the A string, so I play this A. Or maybe I'll add that on and resolve to my D minor, okay? So that's that little run. Now, alternatively, you could play all of that down here in first position as well. Just like we learned that you could play this part, right? Everything is right there. Everything is right there, right? Alternatively, you could play that whole solo section that I just did all down here as well, okay? It's just, I prefer, for whatever reason in my head, like that makes sense and it feels good to me. And but the other way you could play it down here is starting from this note. Right? We already do the second half right there in the first position, but if you want to do that first part in the first position, that's it. And it really is outlining around a D minor chord. It's all there. Or whatever your preference is. All right, let's take that solo one time through, okay? Dope. All right, and that's Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Did you learn something new today? I hope you did. That is a super cool song. It's really fun. Okay, if you like what you saw today, you know what to do. Hit subscribe, ring the bell, let you know every single time I drop new content, which I do every week. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this lesson, and if there's another song you want me to take on similar, let me know that too. Okay, until next week, take care everybody.